Lady, we're cops.
Do something!
Step
Arrest
back.
her. He can't arrest me. It's a disguise.
Does this mean anything to you, lady?
Oh, police. Oh, real police. Why'd you say so before?
Just drop the gun, Lee.
Oh, it's not loaded. Look. I didn't bring any drugs into this prison, and I sure as hell didn't take any willingly.
Suppose I believe you. Is this part of a power contest with Ruth Ballinger, some sort of vendetta or takeover bid?
Ballinger?
Has she been bringing drugs into the prison?
Whatever it is, I'll sort it out, if you will just give me the chance.
If you were capable of sorting it out, you'd hardly be lying here now.
I know what I'm doing.
So do I. And I'm warning you, you make one move without consulting me, and I swear I'll ship you to Blackmoor.
Right, Reynolds, you wanted to get rid of me for a long time. Well, now you will be happy. I have just bashed a prisoner, and I'm glad I did it. So are you going to phone the department, or will I?
Slow down and tell me what happened.
I have just given Ballinger a taste of what she deserves, but believe you me, it wasn't nearly enough. That bitch took such delight in telling me what happened to those kids when she'd finished with them.
You've bashed Ballinger, is that what you're saying?
That's right. And I've lost my job, okay? You'll have my resignation on your table within the hour. It'll save the department firing me.
Just a moment. Sit down. We have things to discuss.
What the hell's happened to you? Oh, come on, I'll get you to the infirmary.
No. Take me to the governor. I want Reynolds to see what Ferguson's done to me.
What? You claiming Miss Ferguson did this?
Yes, I am. Take me to the governor straight away.
Of course, Mrs. Ballinger, right away.
I don't know what we're waiting for. I said I was guilty. I did rob the bank, but I didn't mean to shoot the policeman. He will be all right, won't he?
There's no record of her fingerprints. The serial number of the gun's been filed off. I'm damned if I know what she'd be doing with that sort of hardware.
Well, she's tried to put one over us.
Oh, was that likely?
I don't know. She's faking she's bloody good.
What are you two whispering about? I told you to ask the questions one by one, and I try and answer them.
All right. Where'd you get the gun, Miss Parslow?
Oh, look, don't you listen, young man. I told you. Cody Jarrett gave it to me. He said I reminded him of his poor dead mother.
But you didn't think the gun was loaded?
No. Cody must have done that when I wasn't looking.
Where can we reach this Jarrett character?
Oh, you can't, dear. He's dead. He blew himself up.
What?
Yeah, he climbed on top of a gasometer and put a bullet through it. There wasn't much left of him after that, poor boy.
She's away in Hollywood land. Cody Jarrett, played by James Cagney in White Heat.
Hey, listen, did you contact Mrs. Morris from Wentworth, son?
Yes, she'll be coming here soon.
Oh, good. Mick'll get me home safe and sound. Can't wait to see the girls again.
I want her charged with assault.
And when did this alleged assault take place?
Look at me, it's hardly alleged. The blood's still fresh on my face.
When did it happen?
15 minutes ago.
You've been on duty for the last hour?
No.
Did you see any officer or prisoner in the vicinity of Ballinger's cell?
No, Mrs. Reynolds.
I'm telling you, she bashed me and she should be charged.
I wasn't speaking to you. Be quiet. Did you hear?
Mr. Cruikshank wasn't
if you
there when it
insist
happened.
on interrupting, I'll charge you with insubordination. Now wait until you're addressed. Did you hear or see anything indicating an assault?
No.
Now, do you have any witnesses to this bashing?
No, but Daphne... No, I was alone. She isn't that stupid.
You realize that to make a false allegation against an officer is a serious offense, don't you?
It isn't a false accusation.
Then how do you account for the fact that Miss Ferguson and I have been in conference for the last half hour?
You're lying.
I suggest you're lying, and I have your record to support my theory.
I'm not. She bashed me and I wanted to pay for it.
Mrs. Morris, when you came into this office, was Miss Ferguson in here with me?
Yes.
Well, Ballinger, unless you can provide proof that you were assaulted, I'm afraid I can't lay charges.
You set me up, all of you.
By rights, I should be punishing you for lying, but I'll wait until I get the medical report. I suggest that you had a nasty fall in your cell and bumped your head. You're probably suffering from concussion. Is that possible? Right. Mr. Cruikshank, would you escort Mrs. Ballinger back to her cell, please?
Right.
Come along, Bellinger.
Now, Meg, what's this about Etty?
White with one, isn't it?
Yes, please.
Look, I'm grateful for what you've done, Governor, but I am surprised. Why did you lie for me?
I have my reasons.
Yes, but you've
I'm
wanted
not
me
going
out
to
of this
explain
place.
myself, Miss Ferguson. I don't approve of what you did, but I can understand it. However, there'll be no further action against her. Do I make myself clear? Let's hope the courts will give her what she deserves.
Yeah, but it doesn't bring the kids back, does it?
How's Ballinger?
Well, she has bruising around the face and the abdomen, but nothing else. Sister Hall was quite surprised she fell in her cell. But of course, some falls are worse than others.
Yeah, I suppose so. I'll get back to my duties.
You'd better get going and do something about Etty. Can't believe she'd shoot anyone.
No, neither can I. It must be a mistake. I can't understand what Eddie's doing out of the retirement village in the first place.
Well, we both know she likes to wander.
Gail Brown's taking over my shift. She'll be here in about 10 minutes.
Fine, you can go now then.
Right, thanks. I know it's none of my business, but did Ballinger really fall over in a cell?
That's what the record says.
Because if Joan didn't do it, I know quite a few staff who would have done it happily, including yours truly.
Ballinger say anything when Sister checked her?
No, but I don't think she'll let it lie. I think she'll get hold of the department and the media.
Let's hope not. Let's hope she knows what the women would do to her if they found out.
What are you going to do?
She's got the right to protection.
Well, what if she contacts the media?
She won't be allowed to for her own sake. From now on, Ballinger is incommunicado.
What are you doing in here, Graham?
I was just coming in to get some dirty laundry.
You did that this morning.
Well, yeah. See, sometimes Mrs. Ballinger...
Well, she hasn't. Now get back to work before I put you on a charge.
Yes, Miss Ferguson.
I'll have what's in your pocket first. Get out.
So you think Ma will be out tomorrow, love?
She was feeling a lot better.
No clues to who did it?
I didn't really get a chance to talk much.
Oh, the poor thing.
Let's take her a present.
Desmond won't have anything to trade you, Beecham.
Oh, hush up, Lou. I said a present.
Why don't you take her several? That way I may be able to use my half of the locker again.
It's only part of the locker. You weren't using it anyway.
Did you cop any flack after the cell search?
Why should I?
Mrs. Reynolds reprimanded her for taking stuff from the kitchen.
It was a misunderstanding, which I straightened out with her later.
She let her keep the junk, though.
It isn't junk. There's some very valuable merchandise in that collection.
Something on your mind, Graham, or are you just trying to make your head hurt?
Leave her alone, Kelly.
Hey, why would Ruth have a picture of the freak in her room?
What?
I was just going past through cell and it was still in a little bit of a mess and I was just going
Oh, you
going
get on with it. Shut up.
Well, I found this torn-up photo of the freak. I tried to put it back
What was she
together,
doing in the photo?
Well, she's taken this package from this man. He looked a bit sus to me. Hey, do you reckon he could have been a dealer or something like that?
Support one of our theories, maybe.
Yeah, and you've seen so many dealers in your time, you'd instantly recognise one.
I just said he looked a bit sus, that's all. I was going to bring it to you, but the freak caught me and she took it away from me.
And where was Ballinger while all this was going on?
I don't know.
Sounds like an overactive imagination to me.
Well, if it hadn't been a threat to the freak, she wouldn't have taken it off Daffy.
Do you think Ruth and Joan could be in cahoots?
It's a heavy team.
Myra's obviously their target.
Talk to you. It'll have to wait. Good God, what happened to you?
I slipped over and fell. It's nothing serious.
You look like you've been hit by a bus. Now, Ruth, there's something we want to ask you.
Later. I have to find a screw. My phone doesn't work.
Slipped and fell, bull.
Yeah. Someone's worked her over, for sure.
I'd want to do that. If she's teamed up with the freak, whoever did it'll be in trouble.
Mr. Cruikshank, there's something wrong with my telephone. I can't seem to get a dial tone.
Oh, really? We have to contact Telecom then, won't we?
How long will they take to fix it?
Well, how should I know? I'm not a phone technician.
I want to use the one in reception then.
We have to get permission from the governor for that.
You bastards really stick together, don't you?
I don't know what you're talking about.
You're trying to stop me getting information to the outside about Ferguson bashing me.
Do you really think it's wise, Ballinger, to contact the press with wild allegations like that?
Facts, Cruikshank. Facts the public should know.
Oh? And what about the facts on you? Censorship of newspapers, you know, is entirely at Mrs. Reynolds' discretion. I mean, you wouldn't want the women to learn the truth about you now, would you? Because in all honesty, I don't think you'd last 5 minutes if they got to hear about your little child pornography racket, do you?
I want to see my lawyer.
I'll pass the request on to Mrs. Reynolds right away.
We had a devil of a time trying to get a fix, huh? We had no record on Price, and she wouldn't give us her address. Kept trying to convince us that she was a real hard case, insisted on us contacting you. Then one of our blokes remembered she tried to confess to something she couldn't possibly have done. Mrs. Morris, this is Mr. O'Loughlin. He's been appointed to handle Miss Parslow's case. Sinclair, my partner.
Good afternoon. I'm afraid I'm not Raymond Burr, but I'm the best you'll get at such short notice.
Miss Parslow's been insisting on Perry Mason for a case.
Oh, yes, that sounds like Etty. How's the police?
Oh, not serious. He'll be on crutches for a while.
Well, what happened?
Well, I believe it was unintentional. She was demonstrating how the gun wasn't loaded, but it was. I think Miss Parslow was as surprised as anyone that she'd shot him.
I'll be approaching the bank to see if they'll drop the charges.
Do you think they will?
Well, knowing the unusual circumstances of the case and the prospect of bad publicity for the bank, it won't be a problem.
The only problem at the moment is Miss Parslow herself. She seems hell-bent on getting back into Wentworth.
All right, Kelly, what is it? I hear you've branched into photography. What are you talking about? Daffy found a photo of the freak in your room. I didn't know you two were so close. Yes, Ferguson's quite photogenic. What's Daphne done with the photograph? Ferguson took it off her. That's a shame. Still, there's more where that came from. So what's the story? I was using it to keep Ferguson in line. Yeah? You're doing a great job. She's scared. She wouldn't have done this to me otherwise. So what do you got going with her? She was bringing grass into the prison for me, but she got hungry. She wanted me to charge for it and to cut the profits. Then she found out that I'd photographed her with a courier and beat me up and ripped up the print. You're crazy for thinking you could deal with Ferguson. Don't push your luck with me, Kelly. I'll fix the bitch when the time is right. The lawyer still has the next. Okay, so what's the next step? First, we dispose of Desmond. Then there's going to be a drought on grass. I'm sure the girls will prefer our alternative. Coke and smack. Soon they'll be eating out of my hand.
Good afternoon, Miss Parslow. My name's O'Loughlin. I'll be handling your defense.
You any good?
I beg your pardon?
Are you a good lawyer?
Well, I may not be Perry Mason, but my colleagues consider me effective. Most of them, anyway. And I must confess to a rather long, successful career.
Oh. Has Mrs. Morris rather take me home?
She's waiting outside. Let's get your case organised first, then you can see her.
Hope I can get my old cell back.
Well, with a bit of luck, that won't be necessary.
What do you mean?
I think I can get the bank to drop the charges, and the police recognise the shooting was accidental. I may be able to get a good behaviour bond for illegal possession of the
I want the charges dropped. That shooting was not accidental. I aimed at the copper, but I sneezed at the last second.
Madam, the wounded officer's statement says that you weren't even looking in his direction when the gun discharged.
What would he know?
Well, it would be difficult to dispute his credibility as a witness, Miss Parslow. Look, I think perhaps you're a little tired out by the events of the day and you're not thinking clearly.
Don't you talk to me like that. I know exactly what I did. I did rob the bank and I did shoot the policeman. Now, if you're as good as you say you are, you'll tell the judge I'm guilty and have me sent home immediately.
Oh, very well, but I'll have to apply for bail before you're allowed home.
I don't want bail. I want to be sent home to Wentworth.
You're not serious.
Of course I am. That's what I've been telling them all. Now, either you fix it, or I'll find someone who can do the job properly.
Ballinger wasn't exactly happy about it, but I explained it would be safer if she didn't press the point further. Well, I merely pointed out the possibility of the women getting their hands on uncensored newspapers. She shut up right away.
I wish we could employ the same tactic on a second request.
We can't deny her access to a solicitor before the trial, can we?
No, but I would like to delay it a little, at least until I talk to the federal police in the morning.
Well, I suppose by the time I'd finished my rounds and gave you the message, he'd already left for the day.
Yes, thank you, Dennis. Would you tell that to Mrs. Ballinger and say we'll contact Mr. Costello in the morning?
Aye.
Oh, Dennis, I appreciate your support. Thank you. I only hope that the federal police are as supportive.
Well, I can't help you there, but, well, I wish you luck.
Why didn't you tell me you were this unhappy at the village?
I didn't want to worry you.
And you don't think I'm worried now?
But you said we had to lead our own lives.
I didn't expect you to turn into a bank robber. I mean, where did you get the gun from?
That's my little secret.
Oh, Etty.
Look, none of this would have happened if Mrs. Reynolds would let me go back and see my mates. She wouldn't even let me visit them.
It isn't Mrs. Reynolds' fault. It is up to the department to decide
Yes,
where
I
you...
know all that, but I've fixed it. And now they've got to let me go back to Wentworth, don't they?
That is up to the court to decide.
Well, I wish they'd hurry up. Why can't you take me back with you now?
Because your hearing doesn't take place until tomorrow.
Well, I'm not going anywhere unless I can go back to Wentworth.
Oh, for heaven's sake, Etty, don't be so silly. All right. I'll get your lawyer to arrange bail, and you can come home with me tonight.
No, dear, I'm not going to impose on you anymore. I've told her what's his name to refuse bail, and I'm going to stay here tonight and for however long it takes them to send me back to my real home.
I'll speak to you in private a moment, Mrs. Morris. Did she say anything about where she got the gun?
Well, I did ask him. She didn't answer. I mean, what, couldn't she have stolen it from a shop?
Maybe, but why would she file a number off it?
No, there's no point. She wanted to be caught.
Exactly. So whoever gave her the gun didn't want it to be traced.
Oh, she had to be the decoy. Well, the uniformed boys are tipped off before she enters the bank, and 2 blocks away, a payroll job's going down. It's too coincidental.
Are you seriously inferring that she's involved with a gang?
Explains how she got the gun.
And the live rounds.
Oh, no, I can't believe that.
But you couldn't believe she'd rob a bank or shoot a policeman.
Come on. All right, let's ask her then. We were wondering if we could have a chat with you.
What can I do for you? There's word that you've got some connection with Ferguson.
Really? Where did you hear that?
Daphne found a torn photo in your room.
Oh, that. She still got it?
No, the freak caught her and took it.
Damn. I wondered where it was.
Well, what's the situation?
Where do you stand? How do you mean?
Are you teamed up with Ferguson?
You're joking.
Well, what's with the photo?
Insurance. I heard she was looking for some drugs, mainly LSD, so I arranged for a pictorial record of the transaction. Thought it might keep the bitch off our backs.
So that's who set up Myra?
I don't know if she brought the stuff in here.
Oh, she must have. Well, she was the one who conveniently found the drugs in Myra's room, after all.
Aren't you worried about what the freak could do to you? You've obviously copped it once. What's to stop her going further?
Negatives. They're quite out of her reach. She did seem a mite upset when I pointed it out to her, but I'm sure she won't do anything else.
I hope not. She's certainly a cruel woman, that one.
Don't need to worry, Willie. The photos were to protect myself, but there's no reason why they can protect us all.
Oh, thanks, Mr. Crookshank.
Excuse me, ladies. I'll see if they fix my phone. I'll catch up with you later.
I'm sorry about your photo, Ruth.
Don't worry about it, Daphne.
What do you think?
She could be on the level, but I'm not sure.
Well, we won't be able to do anything till Myra gets out of hospital.
Mr. Crookshank,
Yes, Ballinger?
have you contacted my lawyer?
I passed the request on to Mrs. Reynolds.
And?
Apparently, by the time he was contacted, he'd already left for the day.
You can't do this. You cannot deny me access to legal counsel.
Ballinger, no one is denying you your rights. We can't be held responsible for your lawyer leaving work early, can we?
And at home?
No reply.
I don't believe you. You're trying to isolate me from outside contacts.
Anything else?
Yes. My request for a phone call.
No. You used up a year's quota the first week you arrived. We can't be seen to be playing favourites. Sleep tight.
You'll regret this, you bastards.
Excuse me, please, Simon.
Just stop for 1 minute. Now, what's all this rushing about for?
I just thought we'd have an early dinner. You must be very tired.
Have I complained? If anyone looks exhausted, it's you.
I'm all right.
Really?
I just feel awkward us being together in Mum's house, that's all.
Pip, when I first told you I was coming out here, you seemed so pleased. What's happened?
Nothing, don't be silly.
I don't want to go on about the past because I've made my decision, but leaving my family wasn't exactly easy.
I understand that. Simon, I just never expected... Well, you could have talked to me about it first.
I thought that last week in London made things clear enough. We both knew what we wanted.
Anne, hi. This is, Simon, as you may have guessed.
Hello, Simon.
It's a pleasure to meet you, Mrs. Reynolds.
I think we can dispense with the formalities, don't you, Anne?
Yes, call me Anne by all means.
Thank you.
Care for a drink? Scotch?
Yes, please.
Great, I'll grab the ice. You two get to know one another.
Oh, I need that. And how'd you get on with Etty today?
Do you know, all she wants to do is get back inside. I mean, it's dreadful, I know, but I'm not surprised. I mean, let's face it, that's all she knows.
Oh, that'll be for me, Meg. I'll get it.
Oh, who's the lucky fella, Joyce?
Oh, it's...
Hey, you look smashing.
Thanks.
I'll just leave you to it.
Hello, Mervyn. Come in.
How do you do it?
Do what?
Work all day and now as fresh as a flower. You put these to shame.
Oh, thank you, Mervyn. They're beautiful.
Second only to you.
Meg, would you help me put them on?
No,
please?
I'd rather put them on, if you don't mind.
Would you like to join us in a drink?
No, thank you. I've made a reservation. I'd hate to be late, so if you're ready, Joyce, I think we'd better be running along.
Right. Well, good night, Dennis. Good night, Meg.
Good night, Joyce. Good night, Mervyn.
Good night.
Look, have a lovely time, eh?
Thank you.
Enjoy yourselves.
We will.
There you are. The age of chivalry is not dead.
Where does he get those lines from?
I don't know. Talk about love's young dream.
Who would have thought that I'd be playing marriage guidance counsellor to Joyce Barry?
You've done a good job of it. She's a lot better now.
Yeah, I hope so. It's taken a lot of courage to leave Norma after all these years, deciding that she wanted something more out of life. Yes, it's made me do a lot of thinking.
What about?
Oh, come on. I give you a line like that and you say, what about?
You're talking about us living together.
Well, it does seem rather silly us having the two places when we spend so much time together. And it would help with the mortgage.
Well, how can a bloke refuse an offer like that?
Well, you were the one who first suggested it.
Well, halving the mortgage, though, is hardly my idea of romance.
Oh, then what is?
Well, you know, I'd like to make it legal.
And you talk about romance? Was that supposed to be a proposal?
Well, yes, for what it's worth.
Then ask me properly.
All right, I will. Will you marry me?
I'd love to.
Don't you play the heavy with me. I know all about your pressure tactics. I won't be dobbing in my mates however much you try. I told you my name, my rank, my serial number, and that's all I'm telling you.
Let's all calm down, Miss Parslow. Nobody's going to heavy you.
Ah, that's the way you do it, is it?
What?
All that psychology stuff. He plays the heavy, and you pretend to be on my side, so I'll relax and let you know all I know.
Get Miss Parslow a cup of tea, please.
Oh, I thought so. Don't you move, love. You're my protection. The minute you go out that door, they'll put on the rough stuff.
I don't believe this.
Are you married, dear?
No.
Thought not. No one to go home to at night. No one to talk things over with.
Miss Parslow?
Yes, dear?
That job you did you work it out yourself?
Well, to give credit where credit's due, no. I was the one to pull it off, but I let the side down, though, handing over that shopping list and thinking you were his men in disguise. I swear I didn't know the gun was loaded, though.
His men?
Oh, that young man, he will be all right, won't he?
He's fine. Now, do the names Richards and Fellows mean anything to you?
Should they?
Oh, come on, they're known criminals. Did they give you the gun?
Oh, no, dear. They must work on the east side of town. You see, we don't move in on anybody's territory in our business.
We think you might have been used as a decoy. Doesn't that make you angry?
Oh, I'm in real trouble, aren't I?
Well, you did attempt to rob a bank and a policeman's been
Well,
shot.
that's all that matters then, isn't it? We'll have a cup of tea now, dear, if you don't mind.
Everything's so perfect here. It's not quite what I'm used to.
Don't worry. The closest I ever get to somewhere like this is the kitchen. Then I only last a night or two.
Do you think we look terribly out of place here?
Do you really care?
No. I'm having a lovely time.
At least I'm not pouring the drinks tonight.
Has Madam decided what she'd like?
Oh, I'm terribly sorry. I haven't looked yet.
May I suggest a glace à la crème?
Oh, sounds lovely. What is it?
It's a rich French ice cream. We serve a selection of flavours.
Were they made with egg yolks?
No, cream.
Should it be made with egg yolks, Joyce? Perhaps you prefer the profiteroles.
Oh, Mervyn, if you think that's what I'd like.
Profiteroles for my lady. Thank you.
Believe me, Anne, I know exactly what you mean. Carolyn, that's my daughter, thinks I'm something from the Ice Age, and she's only a couple of years younger than Pippa. I gather you were expecting someone a little younger.
I didn't know what to expect.
No, of course not. But unfortunately, my friends in England had the same trouble. That's why I decided to make Australia my home.
I didn't realise.
It was only fair on both Pippa and the children.
Yes, I suppose so. I admit when Pippa first told me about you, I was a bit surprised, but then I'm having trouble adjusting to my grown-up daughter in lots of ways.
For heaven's sakes, remember me?
Sorry, darling. I just wanted to explain. I didn't mean to go on.
Oh, don't worry, Simon. I'm glad you did. It's helped me understand things a little better.
Oh, I didn't realise the time, though. Perhaps I should call a taxi.
Yes, you must be very tired.
Well, no, there's no need for a taxi. Pippa can drop you off in my car. Another coffee?
No, I'd love some, but let me get it.
What's going on?
God, I felt like a child sitting there with you two talking about
haven't
me.
exactly been making an effort.
Sorry.
You're acting as though you want nothing to do with him. The man's just left his wife and children for you.
I never asked him to do it, did I? Hi, Ruth. How you feeling?
Dreadful.
Yeah, you look a bit off.
Thank you.
How's your face? Doesn't look too bad.
Well, it is, sweetheart. Now, look, I don't feel like talking at the moment. Would
Hey,
you mind...
in fact, I can't see any of that bruise that was there before.
It's the makeup, Daphne. I don't feel like talking about it at the moment. Would you mind going?
Oh, yeah, I suppose you feel a bit crook, don't you?
Can't fool you, can we?
Nah. Hey, why don't you phone your husband or some of your friends? That'd cheer you up.
The phone is out of order.
Still? Geez, you're having a run of bad luck lately, aren't you?
Highly perceptive, Daphne. Now, Daphne, if I gave you something to brighten up your night, would you run along? I really feel like being alone at the moment.
Gave me something like what? You've already given me so much.
Do you smoke grass?
Oh, no, because it burns my throat. And the plants in my cell wouldn't like it anyway.
Or something else, then?
Oh, no, they don't like any of that spray can stuff either. You know, the air fresheners and fly sprays and stuff.
Not the plants, Daphne. You? Cocaine?
Oh, I don't know. It's supposed to be bad for you, isn't it?
Bad? Oh, no, Daphne, everyone has it. Rock stars, film stars, everybody who's anybody.
Film stars?
Yeah, how do you think they keep so bright and sparkling all the time?
But drugs make you sleepy and relaxed, don't they?
Oh, no, not this one. This one makes you feel bright and happy. It's perfect for you, Daphne.
Won't depress me, will it? I'm terrible when I'm
Oh,
depressed.
Daphne, one taste of this and you won't have a care in the world. Now, you have a look to make sure no one comes, and I'll get it.
Do you mind if I loosen my collar? It's been strangling me all night.
Oh, no, of course not. A person should be comfortable in their own home.
What about you, my dear? Do you feel relaxed?
Well, I must confess that these shoes are pinching me a bit.
Well, slip them off and put your feet up.
Oh. Good.
Is that better?
Yes, lovely. Silly, really. Things people do just to make themselves look right.
Well, there's no need for any of that in my favourite restaurant.
Where's that?
An open fire by the river. The catch of the day frying away in the pan as the sun sets on the horizon.
Oh, Mervyn, that sounds absolutely perfect.
I'd like to take you one day, if I may.
try and keep me away. Mervyn, what is it?
Nothing at all.
Oh, now, come on, tell me, what is it?
Well, having a lovely, sensitive woman alone here is very tempting for a bachelor like myself. I know you've just been separated from your husband, and it's all very awkward. I'm not about to take advantage of you.
Oh. Mervyn, Norm and I, well, it hasn't been a true marriage. Not in the real sense, for a long time. And
I see.
And I'm very attracted to you.
And I to you.
Perhaps we could make ourselves more comfortable.
Oh, I see.
What are you giggling at?
Oh, dear. No, I was just imagining what Etty's reaction would be when she hears about it.
Are you kidding? The magistrate's going to have enough trouble with her today. I think we ought to keep it quiet for a while, don't you?
Yeah, you're probably right. What time are you due at court? Oh, hello, Joyce.
Morning. You're just in time for breakfast, Josh.
Oh, no thanks, not for me. I've got to get changed and get to work.
How was the dinner?
Oh, very good. Very good indeed. Neither of you have seen Norm, have you?
No, why?
Well, I found this note under the front door.
Well, nothing's wrong, is there?
Oh, no. Good news, I suppose. He seems to have accepted the end of our marriage. Beryl Simmons is being very supportive. She's worked with Norm for years now. Good old Beryl, eh? Of course. She'd be very happy to have me out of the way.
Now, we know Nora's eating for two, dear, but that's no reason to give her your breakfast.
I'm not hungry. I told you I was feeling crook.
You don't have to. You look terrible.
Do you mind if I deal with this, dear?
Now, what's the matter with you today? Don't tell me you've got morning sickness too.
No. I'm just not hungry. Geez, anybody would think it was a crime.
Mind if I join you?
No, here, sit down.
How are you? How you feeling, Myra?
Not too bad. Got a score to settle on. Well, we've been looking into that for you, don't you worry. What have you come up with?
It was Ferguson. She drugged you.
Wilhelmina, would you please hold your tongue for 1 minute while I give Myra the facts? Now, what's been happening while you've been recovering? Ruth Ballinger's taken a tumble.
Joan really went to town on her. She's black and blue.
Are you sure? Ferguson's usually more careful than that. Yes, but Ruth's got the dirt on her. She's actually got photographs of the freak making a deal on the outside. Drugs? Daffy here found one and it was all torn. Ruth's going to get some more copies. That's what the bashing was all about. To keep her quiet. Look, I was slipped something at tea. Now, Ferguson wasn't here then. Well, who was on kitchen duty? Well, I was serving myself, so nothing could have happened there. She's got to have someone working with her. Already wondered about Kelly.
You were eating by yourself till I came over to join you.
Yeah. Yeah, I was.
What do you want? Pity you gave away so much of your war paint to the others. Been eating quite a bit of it for the next few days, I would imagine.
You made a big mistake, Ferguson. Reynolds might have covered for you now, but it won't be so easy for her when I start to hand out those photos.
Forget it, Ballinger. You run out of ammunition.
Oh?
You must be aware of how the women in here react to crimes against children. You know, over the years, I've seen the lot. Everything from boiling water to slow mutilation. Now, you got off pretty lightly with me, but when this lot hear about your child pornography racket, they'll kill you. Mervyn, how long have you been there?
Oh, you're beautiful, Joyce. Even in a uniform, you're beautiful. What?
Someone might be listening.
Sorry. Look, I've run something up for the workers.
Oh, put it over there. What's it called?
Black Forest.
Oh, it must have taken ages. I have to watch my figure with you around.
No, that's my job. If I'm still allowed.
Oh,
What do you mean? What's the matter?
Well, I've been worrying, Joyce, ever since you told me about that note from Norman. You're sure he doesn't want you back? Because I could understand.
Oh, don't be silly. Even if he did want me to go back, I wouldn't go. You know why, don't you?
Perhaps I could have a second shot at dinner at home tonight.
No, you cook all day. It's time I cooked for you.
That's wonderful. Wonderful.
Oh, Norman!
The accused was then apprehended and taken in for questioning. Her statement to the police is quite clear, I think. She quite openly admits to being guilty.
Good boy.
Thank you, Sergeant Watts. Mr. Lachlan?
If your worship pleases, despite the fact that my client has pleaded guilty to all charges, I would like to recommend that in view of her age,
No, you don't.
she
You
be
cut
offered
that out.
bail and released under her own cognizance.
I won't stand for it. I demand a retrial.
Miss Parslow.
This man's an incompetent.
Madam, this is not your trial. Your counsel is trying to avoid you having one.
Exactly. He doesn't care whether I'm guilty or not. All that matters to him is his precious career. Well, I got a career too. I'm a professional criminal. I could go out and rob again. Not to mention shooting some poor innocent young policeman. I'll go out and do that too. I'll walk out here and I'll shoot the first cop I see. Now, how'd you like that on your conscience?
Never heard anything like this.
Your worship, may I request a psychiatric evaluation?
I'll be insisting on it. She'll be committed for trial and held on remand at Wentworth Detention Centre.
Now, there's a man who knows his job.
Well, what is the problem? Ever since I've arrived, you seem so cold.
No, I haven't. It's just that... Simon, I didn't expect you to turn up in Australia with that sort of news, that's all.
Don't you feel the same for me anymore?
Of course I do, but...
But what? Well, come along, tell me. Have things changed between us?
No. Well, yes. Simon, we've always been so honest with each other. But you've gone ahead making plans for us without any discussion with me.
Only I can make the decision to end my marriage, Pip.
You could have told me that's what you intended to do. I never asked you to leave your wife and your kids for me.
No, I know you didn't, but I thought... You say we're finished? All this has been just a waste of time.
God, I'm not explaining myself very well, am I?
No, you're not.
All right. I'll put it this way. Simon, you've achieved so much of what you want to do. But my career, it's just taking off. I've got a chance to work in Japan soon. I might even go back to London again. Who knows?
You'll be a great success, I know that.
But I can't do all that and be at Bengala. What on earth would I do there?
You'd be with me. Look, I had other offers at home. Better offers than this. But I put my career second to our relationship. Can't you do that too?
I don't know.
I just want time for us to get established. Away from the motel rooms and those quick meetings we're used to.
We haven't got off to a very good start, have we?
No.
Well, Simon, let's go out this afternoon. I'll take you to some of those places I've told you about. You can shop me lunch at one of my favorite restaurants.
Well, shout means buy you lunch. Certainly.
I warned you that this sort of preferential treatment would create problems.
But have you any idea who might be responsible for the bashing?
No, I haven't. It's being investigated. But the important thing at the moment is that the press shouldn't get hold of it. The woman is a liar, and she'll do everything in her power to discredit the prison and you.
All right. What are you suggesting?
I want to cut her contact with the outside completely. No phone calls or visits, including her solicitor.
That's impossible. She has a legal right to seek counsel.
It can be delayed.
Yes, but for how long? I mean, Ballinger's not going to keep quiet about it.
She won't have any choice if we cut her access.
But then we don't get the information we need.
And what have you got so far?
Not much. We've managed to collect a few small-timers, but I think that suits the Ballingers. They're using us to clear up their unwanted stuff.
There is another thing to take into account. If she does contact the press, how long do you think it'll take them to rake up the stuff about her involvement in the child pornography business? As a follow-up story.
Not long.
And if the women in here heard about it, you'd lose your informer. For good.
Okay. We'll go along with you as far as we can. Would it be possible to see Mrs. Ballinger now, please?
Certainly.
Hi. Mind if I come in?
Not at all. How are you, Myra?
Fine. Just come to collect the dirty sheets. Have to take care of these. Top quality stuff.
Yes, there's nothing like the finest satin against your skin.
I wouldn't know. I've never had the opportunity.
Why don't you take those? I've got plenty more.
No, thanks. I can't see Reno stretching the rules for me.
Pity the regulations are so strict. It seems so unnecessary.
Perhaps they'd like to see us suffer. I know the freak certainly does. I believe we owe you one. I can see you found out about her brand of suffering the hard way.
Yes, well, she won't be doing it anymore, now that she knows I've got the negatives well placed. I can't see her risking everything to get even with you.
No, not when it means her precious career. It was a smart move, that, blackmailing her.
Thank you. Would you care for something decent to eat while you're here?
Looks good. But I'm not hungry.
Oh, let me go! Not yet, lady.
The freak might have brought it in. But it was your coffee that I had the pleasure of drinking the other night. It was very nice of you to send Daphne over to keep me company.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Oh, I think you do.
What's the hold up, Mara?
Oh, nothing, Mr. Crookshank. Just wondering if this stuff will go through the washer without any damage.
Top quality stuff can cope with the roughest treatment.
Right, well, get a move on then. Ballinger, the governor wants to see you. Now, come on.
I was beginning to think I'd never make it back. You don't know what it feels like to be out there. No men around all overseas, no one to look after us women. Don't know who you're talking to. No uniforms like in here. Oh, when do I get my uniform back, Miss Ferguson?
You don't?
Ah, well, why can't I have my uniform? I never took it with me. Oh, I know, hard times. I suppose it was lent to one of the others.
You're on remand. You don't get a uniform till you're convicted.
Oh, you don't have to be formal with me. I told the judge I've been a convict all my life.
Get in there and make your bed. Oh.
Oh, nothing's changed. I can't wait to see the others. Do they know I'm back, or is it going to be a big surprise? I can't wait to see them all. Miss Ferguson, it's even nice to see you, dear.
I don't know what sort of game you're trying to play with me, but I'm telling you, you're not going to win. Now, I want my phone reconnected today and my lawyer here at once. You can't deny me that unless you want trouble.
Don't threaten me, Ballinger. I can have you put in solitary if you prefer that to your present accommodation.
We made a deal.
Yeah, and we're not satisfied you're living up to your end of the bargain, are we?
I gave you the names.
Small time, Ruth. We think you can do a bit better than that.
Forget it. I don't need a phone or any of your other so-called privileges.
Yeah, well, you may not think that way in a couple of months, eh?
Months?
Yes, one of your tip-offs paid off, proving to be more cooperative than you are.
Who?
Landed a biggie right in her laps.
You didn't intend to, but it seems this guy is a direct link to the top.
Making an arrest is but a formality.
Who are you talking about?
Bit of a worry, is it, love?
Hubby won't be pleased. I'd say it's going to ruin a couple of his plans. The trouble is, he's going to think you did the dirty on him. But it's your choice, I suppose.
What choice?
Whether we act on the information or not. If you're cooperative, we can forget what we know already, but if you decide to play dumb, well, we all know how Arnie Ballinger takes care of disloyal staff, don't we?
He used to give me roses. I wish he could again. But that was on the outside, and things were different then. On the inside, the sun still shines, and the rain falls down. But the sun and rain are prisoners too when morning comes around. Last night I dreamed we were together, sharing all the love we'd known, till I had arms around.